So, you thought your printer was just sitting there, minding its own business, churning out your cat memes and overdue assignments? Think again. What if I told you that little box of wires and ink might actually be spying on you? I know, it sounds like something out of a conspiracy theory, right? But buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating and slightly terrifying world of printer surveillance. Yep, your trusty printer might not be as innocent as it looks. Let's start with a question. Why on earth would anyone want a printer to spy on you? After all, it's just a machine that prints documents, right? Well, not exactly. Printers today are a lot smarter than they seem, and that's where the problems begin. Here's a fun fact to set the stage. Most modern printers aren't just printers. They're mini-computers with ink cartridges. They have processors, memory, and sometimes even storage. And if they're connected to the internet, they're just as vulnerable to hacking and exploitation as any other device. Let's talk about microdots. These are tiny, invisible to the naked eye tracking markers that some printers embed on every single page you print. Think of them as the fingerprints of your printer. They can include details like the serial number of your printer and the exact date and time you printed something. Why does this matter? Well, imagine you're a whistleblower or a journalist working on a sensitive story. You print out some documents, thinking it's safe, but those microdots could lead someone straight to your printer, and by extension, to you. In fact, these microdots have already been used in investigations to track down individuals who printed out certain materials. The first big question that comes up here is, why do these microdots exist? The official reason is to prevent counterfeiting. Governments and manufacturers argue that these markers help identify printers used for printing fake currency or fraudulent documents. But the potential for misuse is huge, and most people don't even know these microdots exist. Let's move on to the internet. Many of us love the convenience of wireless printing, right? No cables, no hassle, just hit print from anywhere in your house. But here's the catch. If your printer is connected to the internet, it's also connected to, well, everything. Many modern printers send data back to their manufacturers. This is often framed as diagnostics or performance monitoring. But what does that really mean? It means your printer is keeping a log of what you print, when you print it, and sometimes even the content of your prints. Why does a printer need this information? In some cases, it's for quality control or to improve the product. In other cases, it's to enforce restrictions, like making sure you only use the manufacturer's ink cartridges. And in some instances, it's because they're legally required to collect and store certain information. Here's an example. Let's say you print a confidential business proposal. You think it's safe because it's just between you and your printer, right? But if your printer is sending data back to its manufacturer, that proposal might be sitting on a server somewhere. Now imagine if that server gets hacked. Suddenly, your confidential proposal isn't so confidential anymore. Speaking of hacks, let's talk about why printers are one of the most overlooked entry points for cyber attacks. Think about it. Most people don't think of their printer as a security risk. We secure our laptops and phones with passwords and firewalls, but when was the last time you thought about securing your printer? Exactly. And that's what makes them such an attractive target for hackers. Here's how it works. A hacker finds an unsecured printer that's connected to the internet. They can then use that printer as a gateway to access other devices on the same network. It's like finding a hidden back door into your home. Once they're in, they can do all kinds of things. Intercept your print jobs. Imagine printing sensitive financial documents or personal information, only to have someone halfway across the world intercept them. Install malware. Hackers can use your printer to spread malicious software to your other devices. Launch attacks. Printers can be used as part of a botnet, a network of infected devices used to carry out cyber attacks. In one famous case from 2018, a hacker took control of thousands of printers worldwide and forced them to print messages promoting their YouTube channel. While this was relatively harmless, It shows just how easy it is for someone to exploit an unsecured printer. Let's make this even more relatable. Imagine you're a lawyer, printing out a client's confidential legal documents. You think you're in a secure environment, but your printer is connected to the office Wi-Fi, and you've never updated its firmware. A hacker gains access, intercepts the document, and now has sensitive legal information that could be sold or leaked. Or how about this? You're a small business owner printing out invoices. Your printer has a cloud printing feature that automatically backs up your print jobs. Convenient, right? Until you realize that the cloud service isn't as secure as you thought, and now your client's financial information is exposed. These aren't just hypothetical situations. They're real risks that people face every day. Now, let's talk about government surveillance. It's no secret that governments around the world have an interest in monitoring communications and activities. Printers are no exception. In some cases, printer manufacturers work directly with governments to include tracking features like microdots. The idea is to help law enforcement track down counterfeiters, but the same technology can be used for other purposes. For example, if someone prints out protest flyers or politically sensitive materials, those microdots could be used to identify the printer, and by extension, the person who used it. It's a chilling reminder of how even the most mundane devices can be weaponized for surveillance. By now, you're probably wondering, how can I protect myself? The good news is that there are steps you can take to secure your printer and minimize these risks. First, disable Wi-Fi. If you don't need wireless printing, turn off the Wi-Fi feature on your printer. Using a wired connection is much more secure. Second, update your printer. Regularly check for firmware updates from the manufacturer. These updates often include security patches to fix vulnerabilities. Third, secure your network. Make sure your Wi-Fi network is protected with a strong password. Consider setting up a guest network for devices like printers. Fourth, adjust your settings. Go into your printer's settings and disable any features related to data collection or cloud printing. Look for options like telemetry or data sharing and turn them off. Fifth, monitor your printer. Keep an eye on your printer's activity. If you notice it behaving strangely, like printing unexpected documents or making noise when it shouldn't, it could be a sign that something's wrong. If you really want to be secure, consider using a firewall or VPN to protect your network. These tools can help block unauthorized access to your devices, including your printer. And if you're using a printer in a professional setting, talk to your IT department. They can help ensure that the printer is properly configured and secured. You might be thinking, okay, but why should I care? It's just a printer. Here's the thing. The printer is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's a reminder that every device we use, no matter how small or insignificant it seems, is part of a connected ecosystem. In that ecosystem, even the smallest vulnerability can have big consequences. By taking steps to secure your printer, you're not just protecting your documents, you're protecting your entire digital life. Printers are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the surveillance capabilities of everyday devices. From smart TVs to voice assistants, we're surrounded by technology that's constantly collecting data. Understanding how these devices work and how to secure them isn't just a good idea, it's essential. So the next time you're printing out your secret plans for world domination, or just your grocery list, take a moment to think about what else your printer might be up to, and then take control. And hey, while you're at it, why not go all the way and protect your passwords too? Download Log Me Once and safeguard your digital life. Because trust me, your printer isn't the only thing that's watching.